Since we were spending 2 days in Nice and the boat was ported, we decided to head off and make our first stop going to the Eze Village. We just grabbed a rideshare, hopped in, and it was about a 20-25 minute drive with traffic. We made it to France, had an overnight on the boat, and for the 2 days in Nice, we actually drove up about a 15-minute drive. You could also take public transport, but they have Bolt here, so we used that up to the top of the hill, and we are in Eze. So we're gonna do some searching around today. That's part of our excursion while in our first city in France, and then maybe later on explore Nice, and then tomorrow I think we're gonna do all Nice, but today we're gonna take a little trek around Eze. After getting dropped off right in the area of Eze, before we're going to the Old Village, we decided to stop into the Fragonard Perfumery to take a little tour. The tour for ourselves when we got there at the time was free. They gave us some stickers and we joined along with another tour group where they took us through the entire factory. We got to basically test out to see if we could identify some fragrances, and then they took us through the history of how the perfumes are made, what they are doing now, and we also got to see some people at work before going to the end into the shop where we got to test out and smell a variety of different of their signature fragrances and make some purchases for ourselves. After visiting the perfumery, we decided to take a little walk up some stairs to the Old Village of Eze. It isn't a fully steep walk. You do have to walk up a street that really has no stairs, and then you end up in a stairway, and then you end up in the medieval village. It does welcome you with a little map so you can kind of get an essence of where you came from and what you're walking into. When we were there, it was quite empty, specifically because it's off season, but during the spring and summer seasons, we did hear that it gets a lot more busier where shops are more open, a lot of the restaurants are open, and there's even a little place to stay right when you walk in that's a hotel. While in the village, you'll want to make sure you stop by the Eze Garden. It is a small fee for a ticket, but you get to walk around. You can see the variety of different plants planted there. There is a waterfall, and you want to make sure you get all the way to the top to make sure you take in the view. It's quite a view to see the area of Nice at the top of Eze, and it's one that specifically took my breath away, and I could have stood there for hours looking at it. So we are at the top of the city of Eze. There is a garden that sits up top. So once you get into Eze, if you take the boat, it just kind of takes you into the city area. But then there is a path to climb to the top stairs because the cars can't necessarily get here because it's an old time kind of village. So we found this garden, made it to the top, these old ruins, and looking at the view. So we're gonna spend some more time exploring Eze, maybe find some food, but having a good time so far. So though not much was open in this town of Eze, we did spend quite some time walking around the garden, taking in the sights, looking into some shops that were open, and then heading into a cathedral that was actually under renovations at the time, but it was still great to go in and see and look at it before we decided to leave Eze and head back into Nice. Instead of taking a rideshare back into Nice, we hopped on the bus and headed down into the main central part of Nice and ended up at Le Garibaldi Restaurant, which was right around this time opening for the day. They have indoor and outdoor seating. So we decided to go in there and grab lunch, and I will recommend this place. I found the drinks, food affordable and delicious. Then, as we always do when we're traveling, we decided to just kind of wander through the streets of Nice to find out what it had to offer us. We walked into local shops, found some vendors, talked to people, and just kind of explored the area and got some souvenirs, some gifts before going into the palace Lascarais, where we decided to do a little bit of sightseeing and learn more about the history of the palace. When entering, you do have to pay a small fee for a ticket, but then you're able to walk around the palace freely and explore the different areas. There is so much history about the family that you can find in the house, some of the old furniture, a lot of musical instruments you can see. We spent probably a good 45 minutes, probably could have spent longer in the palace, but it is a great place to stop by and just see the artifacts, learn about the history, and just wander around. After leaving the palace, we decided to do some more wandering and actually wandered into a local cathedral where a youth choir was putting on a little Christmas performance. So it was quite cute to see. We stopped in there, sat for a while, listened to the music before moving on. After some more wandering, we walked by HOBO, which there was a drink that caught my eye. So we stopped by for some snacks and to take in this spiked hot chocolate drink that I absolutely loved. It was so delicious and I was so happy that we stopped by. We then ventured to the main place we wanted to head to that night while in Nice, and it was Noel à Nice, their famous Christmas village that you have to visit if you are visiting Nice during the holiday season. Upon getting in there, you can go and look outside and see some of the different places, the trees, the vendors before heading inside, where you do have to go through security. We did not have to pay a ticket for entry. It's free to enter, and then once you get in there, depending on what you purchase or any ride you want to go on, that's what you have to pay for. So we have found the Christmas market here in Nice. Got some hot cider. I've had Jess here ordering everything for me because she knows all the French, but we found this fantastic Noel à Nice, which is the Christmas market. Super fancy. It is great for the family. Adult friendly, kid friendly. There's alcohol, there's shops, there's rides. It is so fun, and it's, you know, both enclosed where the rides are, and then there's outdoor areas you can just go and enjoy the kind of just Christmas festivity. So everything lights up when it gets dark, and of course in Christmas time it gets dark pretty early. So we are here enjoying the Christmas market, again having some cider, enjoying some things, and enjoying France. After enjoying this famous Christmas market, we took in one last drink, wrapped everything up, and made our way back to the boat so that we can sleep and get ready for our next day exploring Nice.
Touch me right, I'll be alright. It's over.
The next morning, we got up right around the middle of the morning to decide just to take a more relaxing day around Nice. It was going to be a shorter day, but we were going to make the most of it. The first place we went is we climbed up to the famous Chateau area, which there is an elevator. So if you do not feel like walking, there is an elevator that you can take you up to the top so you can get the beautiful view. So it is day 2 in Nice. We're exploring a little bit more, and we have to get back on the boat around 6:30 this evening. We'll be back on a little bit early, but we are up the top of Castle Hill, taking into the views. So you'll have to check out the blog to see more about the views and all the things to do in Nice, especially if you are cruising through here during the winter time. But since it is a weekday, there's a lot going on. There's a classroom, there are locals out, but it's been pretty calm here, not as busy. So super fun. Got these kids running behind us, but we're going to explore for some part of the day, maybe get some oysters at some point. We'll see. And as always, just keep enjoying what we're doing. After heading back down, we headed right around the main central part of Nice to just kind of walk around, take in the local market that was going on, look at some local art galleries that were in the area, find things to eat, do some shopping, and just again experience Nice. One thing we always love to do is just walk around, talk to people, experience the culture, shop some things, and make sure we are actually knowing that area versus just kind of being tourists in that area.
Made up my mind. It's all that matters, really. As long as you stay crazy, shadows will guide us where we've never been before. Run so I act like no one knows me. Right back in with my eyelids closed. Yeah, my fault and I think I like it out of this hole. Why so I act like no one knows me? Right back in.
After working up an appetite, it was lunchtime and we headed into this restaurant by the Gusto family. It's famously known for its pasta, but we weren't super hungry. We just wanted something that was light and easy. So I ended up getting this very large flatbread that I did not realize was going to be as large, but it was still great. It was light, refreshing. It was everything I was looking for. I got a good drink, I got a fresh meal, and then it was time to start wrapping up the day.